Kevin Costner compared his only horror movie to Field of Dreams for a bizarre reason. Kevin Costner draws an unlikely parallel between his flop horror film and Field of Dreams, exploring risk, fantasy, and audience expectations. Kevin Costner once compared his two widely different films titled The New Daughter and Field of Dreams, while speaking to Bloody Disgusting in 2008 via /film. Costner is known for starring in epic westerns and sports films, mainly about baseball. So, it was a bit weird to see how he could draw parallels between The New Daughter, a supernatural horror, and Field of Dreams, a sports fantasy film. The former is a chilling story of terror, while the latter is a heartwarming tale of redemption. Now, let's see why he compared his underperforming horror feature to one of his biggest hits. Kevin Costner on the bizarre parallel between his horror film and Field of Dreams. At first glance, a movie about ghosts of baseball players emerging from a cornfield would seem to have little in common with a film filled with ancient creatures terrorizing a family. But for Kevin Costner, the connection lies in a shared creative challenge via /film. Basically, Costner talks about the leap of faith they had to take with both features because he was unsure that such concepts would work. Viewers would have to accept a fantastical premise that would look ridiculous if the execution were bad, but it seems like that did end up happening with one of these two movies. Why Kevin Costner's The New Daughter didn't soar like Field of Dreams. The New Daughter is nowhere near the cultural and critical acclaim of Field of Dreams. The 2009 horror film was met with poor reception, and a primary reason for the mismatch could be what audiences expect out of Kevin Costner. He's known for being in either heroic or dramatic roles, so it's hard to accept him in a full-blown supernatural setting, almost helpless. Critics also complained about the movie's pacing and underdeveloped plot, plus the ending was a bit too ambiguous for most people. On the other hand, Field of Dreams had a universal appeal and message, with Costner at his best. So even though both films were creatively risky, The New Daughter didn't pay off in the same way. So, do you now agree with Costner's comparison of the two? You can watch The New Daughter on Prime and rent or buy Field of Dreams on Amazon.